Hi, Richard, and hi, Tammy.
Hi.
Nice to see you all again. And it's been an amazing 2020 was certainly not what any of us had in plan,
Right.
I'm sure, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, Tammy, could you kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you kind of brought us all together to create your story last year, but also to give us the updates of what's going on at campus.
Okay. So I'm Tammy. I'm the Veterans Resource Center Coordinator for UC Riverside. So what I do is basically I handle anything that is related to a military affiliated student. So it comes through the Veterans Resource Center, and we just help students out, veterans, dependents. Even our OTC comes by and hangs out. So the reach is pretty broad for us. During COVID, we shut down. We closed our Veterans Resource Center, and we did virtual events and things, which some were successful and some were unsuccessful. So we've learned a few things along the way. Also learned that folks learn differently in this environment, and some thrive and some do not. So it will take a switch once we get back to campus, which should be fall of 21, so September of 21.
Excellent.
And since the last time I spoke with you, I've gotten great news. Great news. They've announced that our new Veterans Resource Center will be in the center of campus at Costo Hall, where the current Student Disability Resource Center is. So we get all of this space there. And it includes a social space, a study space, an additional study space. I get a private office. We have an additional private office and a kitchen area, like a kitchen room.
Oh, now that's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, and a receiving area. So an area where folks, when they come in, they can have a seat if they're waiting or whatever, like a greeting area. So it's phenomenal. It just so happens that the Veterans Resource Center, when it first began at UC Riverside, was one room, one man's office, and it was attached to the Student Disability Resource Center. We not only get that one little office space back, but the entire space. So we kind of did a full circle. We should be having a reveal, an open house in likely October when school starts in 21.
So you're like tripling your space or even more so than that?
Well, I'm not quite sure about the actual square footage, but the space is usable. Like every ounce of it is usable space. So it's good. And we'll have one quiet study area and then one room for like group study. So it's, so you don't have to interrupt the people that are doing quiet study. So we'll have two different study areas now. So yeah, there is additional space. Mm-hmm.
Well, you said earlier that, the pandemic and trying to teach virtually. Um, and some people it worked, and other people it maybe didn't work as well as they had hoped. Can you speak to that a little bit and talk about how you think that is changing, how education is going to change because of virtual classes, and now they're coming up like with a hybrid model, I'm assuming?
Yeah, they are. It's really difficult to predict how this is going to turn out because I think automatically my mind goes to STEM majors, which most of our vets are either, STEM or business, that's tough because with STEM, you have to go on campus to do a lab for a lot of your courses. And if that's not happening, I'm not quite sure how that's going to pan out for those folks that want to go to grad school or want to go into the workforce without those skills. So it's a scary thing. I'm not quite sure. It's too soon. I think it's too soon to tell.
Okay, well, that's certainly a valid point, and it's interesting to see the way the virtual world is coming into prominence in a way I'm sure nobody predicted or anticipated because of the COVID.
Right. Yeah. Nobody predicted it. I mean, we just kind of immediately just had to fly by the seat of our pants. And it's kind of good. I have to say that individually, I feel like I've reached out to all of the vets, and I feel like most of them have been in contact with me. Where if we were on campus, that may not have been the case. They may not have just come into the resource center. So I've had really good communication with our veterans, via email and Zoom meetings. I got to say, I'm really thankful for that they used their resources. I feel positive going back in that some folks that may not have otherwise come around may come around.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, what is your veteran population right now that you're working with?
250.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my final report, so it could be more.
Well, that's good. So that's good. Have you noticed that there has been a downturn in registration for school? No.
No, it's quite the opposite.
Oh, now that's real interesting.
Yeah, our veterans are eager to go to school and are still applying and still getting accepted. It's been quite wild. I would say half of every day during the week on my work days are outreach. I would say half of every single day is outreach. Talking to potential students that are coming in, students that have applied, helping students apply, anything that they need help to get them here. That it's an overload. I don't think our numbers will be affected. It seems like more people want to go to school now than ever.
Well, I can see you wanting to get out of the house, and I can certainly see that.
Mhm.
I think that's wonderful. That says
Yeah,
a lot because
it's exciting.
it is exciting because the pandemic in a kind of a weird way has really forced everyone to not only rethink their personal priorities in life, but just everything:
Yeah,
business, the education, technology. I mean, it's just amazing that we can do this, number one. And for me personally, to be able to film like this, it's been freeing in a way that I did not have that capability before before to
right.
do it the way
Hmm.
that we're doing it now. So
Yeah, I'm so excited for you, both of you. It's great.
can you talk about how you kind of introduced us and how you know that introduction um, gave birth in a way to the virtual interviews, because that was not even something I had on the radar. So it when the COVID hit, it's like, how do we do this?
Right. Well, around the resource center, we had Richard working for us, and just he's always eager to help in any way. And then of course, I knew you, and then I knew that you both had something in common. And so when I had the opportunity to introduce you, I thought that it would be a great partnership because, Richard was looking for things to do to enhance his portfolio, and you were looking to kind of move into this virtual world at that time, and it sort of just worked out. I mean, I didn't know that this relationship was going to be so fantastic.
Well, I don't think any of us anticipated it, because Richard just takes the content and makes it so much. He has better technical skills than I do, and I
Oh,
recognize that. So he's able to uh, finish it in a way that I cannot do just by myself. I could do a basic edit on the iMovie, but it's nowhere as good as Richard. So Richard, I can't say enough how he went from being an intern, so now we are co-producers in all the
that's
content
awesome.
that we are creating. It is a 50-50 partnership.
That is incredible. Richard, I am so excited for you.
So
That's
can you tell her about your job and what you're doing? Because I think what he's doing in his career, Richard, it's all up to you.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna open with first and foremost, I wouldn't be associated with VHV TV if it wasn't for you, Tammy. I remember you come calling me into your office and saying, "Hey, like, and you do film, right? Yeah, I got something for you." And just like that one conversation, it led to all of this, which Cheryl and I, we had met there in the VRC, but of course, COVID happened shortly afterwards, and it started with, oh hey, I still have the wireless lavalier mic you gave me. Do you want this back? It's been a few months, so I'd imagine y'all want your property back, right? And then from there, just we were talking. Hey, like Cheryl mentioned that she still wants to do like the interviews, of course, kind of with a virtual setting, and so we did nine, was it? Yeah, nine virtual interviews, and no, geez, nine. But yeah, that helped the time go by. And as Cheryl mentioned, we were just learning along the way. And then like everyone was always an improvement. And like not to toot my own horn, but I think I do an okay job when it comes to editing and cutting them together.
Yeah.
But for sure, definitely, thank you, Tam. You're the one who basically set up this whole thing for us. Cheryl and I were able to connect, and then me coming from a military family, my dad being retired Navy, like it's cool because like I'm able to do not only like video oriented stuff, but also help out with like the veteran community. Like a very large community I've always really felt like more attached to than anything. And I've met a bunch of people like my friends and coworkers there at the VRC. I still keep in touch with every now and then. But yeah, like we're all just a bunch of goobers, but like we all have something that similar, whether like they themselves are veterans or hey, my dad's a veteran, so I can
Right.
better like understand like where like all of you are coming from, and then how. So like with veterans helping veterans TV, that actually landed me getting an internship at this place called JDS Studios here in Temecula, California. And it wasn't until like the 3 months were about to end, and it's like okay, well I had a good internship run here. Did a little bit of everything: post production, filming. It's like some script writing for like these monthly shows. It's what is it called? It's called Spirit of Innovation, which it's kind of like a news broadcast for Riverside County, if you will. And what's also is really cool is that they do work with participants who take part in like a kind of like a not like film specific, but kind of like production, think newsroom kind of stuff. And all the participants are on the autism spectrum, so it's really nice to kind of be able to work with them and just kind of like interact with them in a way that where I can learn how to better deal with people, or even like learn, hey, I can improve upon like my teaching styles, or even just interacting with all of them. They're really like fun, lovable people. But it was that last week as an intern where my now current boss, she pulled me in and said, hey, would you be interested in starting an apprenticeship here? So not only would I be getting paid, but upon the 18-month program completion, I get another piece of paper on top of my degree that says like, hey, Richard Gonzales is he has like a certificate saying he's qualified. He basically knows how to do what was it, post production and like video editing, right, a little bit better. So it's like a degree, but it's hey, like he's somewhat capable. So here's another piece of paper for your achievements.
That's really cool.
See
That is,
what you did, Tammy. See
what's
what
that?
you did. See what you did.
Very cool, Richard. I mean, you are thriving. I love it. I love it.
I mean, that's to me, that's the
I can't
story.
even believe it's in Temecula, like right by your house. Get out.
Like
It's like
15
15
minutes
minutes
away,
away.
right, Richard?
Perfect.
Perfect. I mean, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and maybe 20, 30 years ago, I would have liked this to happen when I was much younger, but it wasn't meant to be. But I do have a plan that's to figure out how to keep it going, make it like he said earlier. Each show we produce, we learn from that show, and it's better than the show before. And I've never had this kind of, um, I've collaborated with a lot of people, but there's something special about these episodes and the stories that we tell. So, one of the questions I wanted to ask is how about the availability of the vaccine on campus? Are they doing that for the students on campus, or is everything being handled through Riverside Medical Hospital somewhere?
Well, right now they're only handling the vaccines for the essential workers, right? And then they haven't laid out the plan for the students yet because the students get their health care through the campus. So the campus is, I'm guessing, it's likely the campus is going to provide those vaccines when they roll out. I just don't know what the plan is because we're talking about like 25,000 students that, have to be handled in one way or another. So, I mean, that's an astronomical number. So the plan is being made right now. It just hasn't been put out, but the essential worker they're actively getting theirs now. So
Right, they're doing it in phases, still in phase 1A. Because I'm 73, I'm in phase 1B. I want my vaccine like right now,
right.
but can't do it that way. But my brother-in-law works at a hospital up in the Bay Area, and he was one of the first ones up there, and he got the vaccine. So good for him, and they're doing it the right way. They're doing it the right way. So thank you for the update on that, and I think that's important for anyone who may be looking at this and thinking about going to campus,
Yeah.
that you are going to be provided for.
Oh
ultimately.
yeah. The campus has been awesome. I mean, they have people in place, if it just seems like if anything comes up, there's a person that they've designated for that. It's been really, I'm really impressed with the way that campus has been going with COVID and everything related to it. It's been pretty good. We've had some students in some hard spots and campus just boom, activated their resources. So I've been impressed. We'll see.
Very good.
Hopefully it stays this way for the vaccine.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will because 100 million vaccines in 100 days, and I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, let's hope. Huh?
Yeah. So, is there anything else you would like to say, Richard, or is there anything else you would like to say, Tami?
No, I really appreciate both of you so much, and I am going to get you some help. So stand by. I'm on it. Next week, I'm going to work on getting you some help, and we'll be creative about it. We'll find some folks.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for changing Richard's life. And all I know is I can't stop creating the content and the best.
Awesome. That's great. I'm so happy.
So Richard, you got anything to say?
I guess how's everyone doing like adjusting from like working remotely? Because I imagine whatever I can't, I'm blanking on the title I had when I was working there under you, but
yeah, the work study.
Work study. How like you and everyone else in the work study is like adjusting to like a remote kind of like method of doing their job.
Right. So everybody now has there's 6 of them. So everybody has a different position now. So one does social media, one works on getting us grants because funding is gone. One works on just strictly doing like VA videos for informational purposes, and then different jobs. Everybody's got a different job. We have a couple of folks actually teaching some classes, so that's cool every week. The jobs are just different now, just different. Everything's virtual.
So now I want to speak to the grant writing part.
Mm-hmm.
So you work in collaboration with the Student Veterans of America. Is that correct?
Yep, we have a chapter on campus. They're called the Student Veterans Organization. They're part of the SVA. Yep.
Okay, so that's the 501c3 that you operate under on campus, correct?
No, that's what they operate under. The Veterans Resource Center operates under the campus. So it's 2 separate, because if they ended up getting money, it's their money. It's not the campus's money.
Okay, thank you for making that distinction. I think that's the question that I was trying to ask.
Yeah, anyone who's interested in providing funds to support the Student Veterans Organization can absolutely give it directly to them, and it does not have to go through campus hoops.
Okay, well, very good. I think that's just like maybe the perfect ending to this evening's conversation. And on that, I will say thank you so very
Okay.
much. And great talking to you, Richard, and great talking to you, Tammy. And you folks have a nice evening. And thank you so much.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you again. Have a good rest of
Bye.
your day.
Bye, Richard.